Good evening, good evening, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to take a moment to welcome you all to this historical moment as we celebrate ACEDONE's 20th anniversary. You would have to forgive me for the rest of the night. My voice is a little gone. I'm a middle school math teacher, so my voice retires at Wednesday every week. So please forgive me for that. I would like to take this moment and thank all of you for being here and being part of this event as we celebrate, like I said earlier, the 20th anniversary of ACEDONE. Tonight, we will dive back into history of ACEDONE, from crisis management in the beginning to economic development and its current activities. We will also move forward and look at and highlight some of the work that ACEDONE is doing as it's fighting to eradicate or get rid of disparities that include health, wealth, and education, and many other disparities that leave some of our folks behind in order to be part of our society at large. As you know, ACEDONE has been doing this for many, many years, 2 decades to be exact, and it has, in one way or the other, I can safely say that it has one way or the other impacted every life, every Somali person that lives in the state and the New England region at large, indirectly or directly. And me being a good example of that, I have been a beneficiary of ACEDONE services, an employee of ACEDONE, and a long-time contributor to the work that ACEDONE is doing. And I am deeply honored and humbled to be in front of you tonight to host the 20th anniversary of ACEDONE's, the organization's founding. I would like to call Mr. Saeed, our former city at-large councilor, Saeed Abdikareem, to former candidate. Thank you for that correction. I've moved out of Boston, so we'll charge it to that. I'd like to call Saeed to come up here and say a few words as well. Thank you.
Once again, good evening, everybody. It's lovely to have all of you here with us this wonderful evening to celebrate the wonderful work of ACEDONE and Mr. Abdul Qadir Hussein. I think the video that we just played, we might have forgot a couple of local public servants here in the city of Boston. Tanya Anderson, she's a city council member for District 7, which is right here in Roxbury. And also Liz Miranda, she's a state senator for the 2nd Suffolk. I don't know if she's here. She's on the way, great. I also wanted to recognize, I'm pretty sure he will be recognized later, Brother Yusuf, who is from the mayor's office. He was sitting somewhere here. He's right here. Please give a round of applause for everyone. Thank you. At this moment, I would like to call up here our City Council at-large member, Rutsi Louis-Jean, who's going to give a citation to ACEDONE. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rutsi Louis-Jean, and I have the honor of being an at-large counselor here in the city of Boston. And my parents are immigrants from Haiti, but as Black immigrants, we share a lot in common. When we come here to find and create a better life for us and our children, and it's not always easy. In fact, it's often really hard. And so we are grateful for organizations like ACEDONE that are really in the heart of community, elevating the needs of the community, creating safe space for African refugees, for Somali refugees, so that we can find places of commonality and fight for the things that we want in common. I know that ACEDONE has done incredible work alongside the Haitian community. I'm here with my second father, Pastor Kiki, a leader in the Haitian community. There he goes. And we know that when we work together and when we fight together and stand together in solidarity, there is nothing we cannot do. So I am really grateful to be a proxy, a friend, and an ally to this community by way of my brother, Saeed, also by way of my staffer, Hodan, who is not here tonight, but who is teaching me a lot about Somali culture. And we had the pleasure of recognizing Somali Independence Day, July 1st, and it was an honor for my office to do that. So she did teach me a few words in Somali, but I don't remember them right now. So I'm not gonna embarrass myself any further. But I just want all of you to know, honestly, that if there's ever a need in the community, if there's ever someone who is without a home, if there's ever anyone who needs food or a child who has a problem with school, my office is open to you to help you solve problems, to help make your life easier. Okay. And if you don't have my contact, you can just get in touch with Saeed or Abdul, and they know how to get in touch with me. But okay, without further ado, I had the pleasure of presenting this citation from the Boston City Council to Abdul Hussein. Abdul, are you here? Yes, I just hugged you, so you are here. It is my incredible honor to present the citation on behalf of the city of on behalf of the Boston City Council, and it reads: the City of Boston. In the City Council, this is an official resolution presented by Councilor at Large Rutzi Louis-Jean. Be it resolved that the Boston City Council extends its congratulations to African Community Economic Development of New England, ACEDONE, in recognition of 20 years of dedicated service in partnering with families to support African refugees and migrants to Boston to thrive socially, professionally, and economically. And be it further resolved that the Boston City Council extends its best wishes for continued success, that this resolution be duly signed by the President of the City Council and attested to and a copy thereof transmitted by the Clerk of the City of Boston. Congratulations to 200 more years.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, very welcome. Awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rutzi. Before I hand the mic over to Mohammed, I want to recognize a rising star in our community, a Somali sister. I don't know where she's sitting, but when I call your name, please stand up. We'd love to give you a round of applause. Ayan Abdi, who works for Congresswoman Ayanna Presley's office. She's right there. Sophia, yes. Thank you. I'm going to hand the mic over to Mohammed.
So excuse me for that blunder. We have Nafisa, who's going to be also our guest speaker tonight. I know that's not in the itinerary, but I just wanted to let you guys know that. I would like to take a moment to really appreciate and thank all of the hardworking individuals that put together this hall, this event, and put in a lot of time during, I'm pretty sure, months of planning. So please give them a warm, really nice applaud, because they did a beautiful job. I have done so many events in this particular hall, and this is like probably my 10th one. This is the best I've seen. So good job, folks. And I would like to, first of all, before I pass on the mic to Anis, who's our board chair, who's going to have our first opening remarks, also recognize that none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for Abdul Hussein, who is our esteemed leader of the community here. Now, I would like to pass the mic and welcome to give us his opening remarks, Anis, who is a Northeastern University faculty member, College of Computer Success, and a member of the Cooperative Education faculty, who is also a board member of ACEDONE. Anis.
Appreciate it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you so much. My name is Anis Asha Abdullah. I am a member, as Mohammed said, of the Cooperative Education faculty at Corey College of Computer Sciences at Northeastern University. I've had the honor of leading and chairing the ACEDONE board for the last 5 years. It's been a privilege for me as someone who years ago actually benefited from the services that ACEDONE was providing. So for me to come back and being able to provide or at least give some guidance to the amazing executive team led by Abdul and Claire and the rest of the team who are here. It's just been an honor and privilege for me. Many of you are familiar with the African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. I can tell you that for many of the families in the greater Boston, a big part of that village has been ACEDONE, and it continues to be that part of that village. Tonight, you'll see members who were benefited from some of the services that ACEDONE provided over the last 20 years. You'll see people who grew up with the services of ACEDONE. You'll see people who came back to also give their time to help those who are currently members of our community. The reason I say that is the impact over 2 decades has been immense. So it's really an honor for me to be standing in front of all of you. And it's an honor to welcome every single person on behalf of the board. I want to welcome especially to our local elected officials, starting with our city councilors, state senators. I also want to welcome and give a thank you to those who are the elected officials, the African elected officials, the Somali American elected officials who are joining us tonight from Ohio, from Washington, from Oregon, from Maine, all the way from Canada. I really want to say thank you all for joining us tonight, and it's really an honor for you to have us in our company tonight. With that, I want to say, everybody, thank you so much for joining us, and I'm so happy and so excited to see this beautiful gathering. I'm not going to take any more time. With that, I want to hand it back to Mohammed.
Now, going back to the video, really brings back a lot of memories. You know, I have been part of Youth in Charge. I have received some of these services. I have worked with these youth, and really, it is astonishing to see. I met 2 of them earlier that are freshmen in college, Emmanuel and UMass, and I'm taken back because now I'm the old person in the room, you know. So it's a little bit of a flashback, you know, and it's really amazing. And it does take a village. And speaking of villages, I remember before I called our next guest, you know, when we were in Urban League, and we used to every day afternoon. You would come and help us with reading and philosophy, and we'd discuss some of these books that you wrote. And really, those are some of my earliest memories that I have of Tedros. So without further ado, let me just introduce our next speaker. I would like to introduce Tedros Kiros, former Director of Development of ACEDONE. I would like to say he was really Director of People Development. He was very personal with you and having conversations one-on-one, and he's sort of someone that I have not forgotten after all these years, even though it's been quite some time since I last saw you, Tedros, who is currently a professor at Berkeley University, who will provide some insights on ACEDONE's history. Please help me welcome Tedros Kiros.
What a great honor from the nerve center of my being to have been given this opportunity to reflect on what ACEDONE meant to me. I met Abdul during a time in which I was deciding between remaining in the academia as a writer. Since then, I have written, I think, something like 21 books. I've also served as a professor of philosophy, which I continue to do at Berklee College of Music. I'm also an associate of the Hutchins Center at Harvard University and professor of Africana philosophy at Harvard University and producer and host of African Ascent International. There is a story behind the foundation of African Ascent International. Abdul, the selfless, empathetic, compassionate, committed CEO that I have never seen in my working life used to take me in the middle of cold winter nights to BNN in Boston to be certified as a television program. Thanks to him, about 15 years ago, with his counseling, if you notice in the video, he's a man of very few words, but committed, selfless, hardworking. I call him a model CEO, and I mean that from my heart. What I remember deeply during the days that Abdul was managing crisis to found ACEDONE are his 3 children and his lovely wife, whom he was literally sacrificing. He did not care much about wealth. He really didn't. I remember Kenan, whom I met at the door now, who is a young man. He was about 8 years old at the time. His children and myself were custodians, janitors, who worked extremely hard from dusk to dawn to maintain and manage crisis in ACEDONE because we had nothing to work with. Literally nothing. Abdul and his worn-out shoes would go from place to place to hand fragments of money to get ACEDONE warm. I remember there were cold nights during which time we were really shivering. And then there were his children who were being dragged to come to ACEDONE to do the work. This is Abdul, the Abdul that you just saw. These are the memories of the heart that vibrate deep inside me when I think about what ACEDONE meant. I remember as if it was yesterday that most of the kids whom you see sitting around this table were between 5 and 6 years old, nervous, anxious, ungrounded immigrants, but dreaming, with dreaming eyes, trying to move up. Abdul never gives up. He treated each and every person who walked into ACEDONE as if they were his own children. And I did try to play a minor part. When he brought me in, when I was deciding between returning to the academia, because my vocation is teaching and writing, I'm a full-time writer, and then I fell in love with ACEDONE. I remember in a television program in which I participated, in which I pledged to the viewing public that I'm married to ACEDONE, and in that I'll leave ACEDONE only when I enter the casket. Of course, when I reflect on this pledge that I made, I feel like a hypocrite now. I left Abdul alone, and look at what Abdul has done. And I did not do very badly, at least in the academia. I'm surviving, I'm thriving, thanks to Abdul, his adorable wife, his lovely children, and most particularly the fierce but determined Somali kids with which I worked. Thank you so much.
As you may have recognized, the theme tonight is and has been, and this is a tried and true way to really lift a community from the those bootstraps, is to really focus on the next generation, to focus on the youth. Because once you have youth that are empowered, educated, that have access to resources, that community eventually will be a community that is part and parcel of the larger community that is contributing and no longer surviving, not only dreaming, but also making their dreams come true. And this has been ACEDONE's mission, and I really encourage all of us tonight, if we don't take anything from that, is to really focus on the generations to come, because they are the ones that are going to lead us into the future. With that being said, I would like to call Saeed, who is going to introduce our next speaker, and also here to recognize also one of our local elected officials. Saeed.
I'd like to recognize our City Council member at large, Erin Murphy. Please give a round of applause for Erin. I don't know where she's sitting at. Awesome. And I also see our State Senator, Liz Miranda. Please give a round of applause. Our keynote speaker comes from also, I cannot forget, Julia Mejia. Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry. Do I see Tanya Anderson? State Rep Russell Holmes. I'm sorry, the light's in my face. I can't see anything. I apologize. Our keynote speaker comes from all the way Portland, Oregon. Her name is Nafisa Faye. I hope I'm saying the last name correctly. Nafisa was elected to be the next Washington County Commissioner for District 1, which includes Beaverton, Aloha, Cooper, Mountain, and Redville. Mrs. Faye is a public health expert dedicated to improving the health and strength of people. She has spent the majority of her career working in public health, first at the American Red Cross, and then through roles in county government leading chronic disease prevention programs for upstream public health. She was appointed by Commissioner Dick Schutten to the Clean Water Services Advisory Commission and serves on the board of the Washington County Museum. Without further ado, please welcome Nafisa Faye to the stage.
Thank you, Saeed, for that wonderful introduction. I'm sorry, I think I'm going to work on my introduction. I'm a nerd, and it comes across in my introduction, I just realized, so I'll work on. But I'm actually really a fun person, too, so just saying out there. Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. Thank you so much, Saeed, Abdelkader, and ACEDONE, and the board members of ACEDONE for inviting me to this wonderful, wonderful city of yours and to this wonderful event. I am so honored and so grateful and look forward to actually seeing how we can copy your model to Oregon and bring it to life. I just want to say to you, Abdelkader, I know what you do sometimes could be really hard: civic engagement, community development, and youth empowerment, or just empowerment itself. It's a lot of work, it's exhausting, but you are making a difference. And those youth will forever remember you and in the future, and will pay it back forward. I know that I didn't have ACEDONE in Oregon. I came from Oregon. I came to Oregon when I was about 17 and a half or 18. Now, I won't tell you how long I've been in Oregon, because especially the MC, who's a math teacher, I know you'll do that real quick. But when I came to Oregon, we were placed as a freshman high school, and it was a cultural shock to me. And the reason why I'm sharing to you, and I'm trying to make eye contact to you, Abdul, to just really emphasize how you're making a difference in these youth that you're empowering and the community that you're investing. I actually, even though I went to high school, didn't learn my ABCs in high school. I learned from a Russian people that were attending an ESL class at a community college. And that was my village. Russian people became part of my village. And they would actually write it on the board, the ABCs, and tell me, close your eyes, Nafisa, and just say what you remember. And every time I got my ABCs right, they will feed me Russian food and pastries. And for that, I became Russian culture, and Russian food became part of my culture. And my mom and I would force my mom to go to a Russian store. We had to find it, and it was about 45 minutes away from where we lived. And we had to take the bus to go shop at a Russian restaurant, food place and a restaurant place. And we became known and friends to this community that we didn't know. So you are making a difference, because those people that invested in me made a difference in many others. Now, I actually am a product of civic engagement and community development, and my journey to public service has been not a one that is a one-shot, clear shot, you run for office and you get in. It was actually a long journey, and one that I was really meticulous, and I didn't rush into public service, even though you could kind of see everybody that knew me would encourage me to be in public service and to be in public. But the position I have now, I'm a county commissioner, and the reason why I chose county commission is because I knew about the county very well. I came to Oregon as a refugee. We utilized county services, and then I went on to school and got my degrees and came to work for a county service. And then I left the county and worked for a nonprofit and became an advocate or a lobbyist, whatever we want to call. And I would advocate or lobby for chronic disease prevention policies. So when I ran for this job, it was something that I knew. It was something that I had an idea of what we can make a difference. And I wanted to see sort of a community mobilization, community galvanizing the community around politics, because we always hear, especially communities of color, we're not at the table at the decisions we're being made. And we're always hear about, we're the Somali community, and then there's only 5 people that get to identify it. So I wanted to really mobilize the community so that we're involved in the political conversations that were happening in my county and as well as the state. And when I ran for that position, the person that, I don't believe in asking permissions myself, and that was a bit of a shocking when you enter into political. You sort of have somebody that sort of invited you to run for that position or somebody that encouraged you. I didn't have any of that. The county I live in is over 100 years old, and there's never been a person of color that ever ran for that seat or ever held. And the narrative and the perception that existed in that county was, just one straight shot, you had to be a man, you had to be a white man, and then you had to be a Republican to run or to hold that kind of a seat. And what I didn't like that narrative, because that county is one of the most diverse county in Oregon. All the diversities that exist in Oregon is heavily concentrated in my county. So I decided in 2019 that I was going to challenge that narrative. Politics, many of you know, especially if you're in an office, elected office, win or lose is never guaranteed. You just have to work hard and raise as much money as you can, and you might win. Or you may not. But win or lose is never guaranteed. But what I wanted was to really bring out the community and to show that there is diversity that exists in Washington County, my county, and that you don't have to be, a man, a white man, and a Republican and just shatter that narrative. And it was a bit of a shock when I ran. It was really hard. People were like, well, where did you come from? How long you lived in this county? And what's your background? Thank goodness I have a solid background. You know, coming to America, I invested in my education. I had a dream to work for the UN or the Red Cross. Oregon didn't have UN. I couldn't convince my mom that San Francisco is another American city. She said, no, you're not moving. We just got to America. You have to stay in Oregon. And I was able to find Red Cross, and I invested in Red Cross, worked there for about 10 years, and then switched to public health because I fell in love in public health. I was actually going to be a physician assistant and switched to public health because public health was just where I felt at home. So I had that background, so my resume was solid, but I grew up in poverty, so I didn't have the money, and the politics was really intimidating. But the community showed up for me and said, we'll help you raise money. So the community that you're all working for, ACEDONE, you're raising stars that will be empowered, and you're creating friends. You know, in politics, or as my mom used to say, there's no permanent enemies. There's potential best friends and an ally. So it really, I just share that to just say, I'm really, really a community person myself, and really grateful that the community that exists in Oregon, especially the Somali community. And going back to my race, one of the challenging things, I had two men who ran against me who were not the same party as I belong to. I know ACEDONE is a nonprofit. We won't talk about politics, but it was really challenging. And there were times where I wanted to drop out and hide, especially when the media were coming for me and asking really crazy questions. And because I'm, black person, they were calling me ugly and things like that. And it was really hard. When you're a girl, you don't want to be called ugly, So, but the community stood behind me, especially in the Somali community in Oregon. And, our community, in the Somali community in Oregon, really showed up in full forces for me and really believed in this message of challenging the narrative that exists in my county. And one of the things the community did for me is, the idea of fundraising, we hear like 80,000, 10,000, things like that, and it's overwhelming, especially when we come here and we're refugees and, we start out with work and we're counting our dollars. But what the community did is they assigned everyone almost a lot, especially the younger people, they assigned each other $25. Every week or every day you can pay $25 to give it to Nafisa. And by that, I was able in a month, I was able to raise just from a young Somali community members, $20,000 for my campaign. So our community have power. We have power. We just need the organizing and standing behind. And I know that, especially in our community, we can be distracted, but I'm really proud to be a Somali person, and I'm really proud the first person of color to ever be elected over a 100-year-old county in Oregon is Somali women. And I could not have accomplished any of that if it wasn't for, I will say it, Somali moms. And Somali youth, because the youth understand. They understand what's going on in this country. They understand their future. They understand the path they want to go. And I encourage every one of you in this room to invest a little more patience, to invest a little bit more money into the youth, especially Somali youth. We need a lot of hand-holding. I know I can attest to that. I might have turned out, it looks like I might have turned out okay, but imagine if I had communities like ACEDONE standing behind me as I grow. So you are making a difference. Keep doing what you do, Abdelkader and ACEDONE. And I'm really honored to be here. I don't want to take too much time. How much time do I have? Yeah. Okay. They say if you give a politician the mic, it's really hard to give it away. And then, on top of that, you add a Somali politician, so we own the room. But I won't take the time just to say I'm really honored to be here as an Oregonian. I like your city, I like what you're doing, and look forward to how we can collaborate and take your ideas to Oregon and see what we can implement over there.
Wow, what a very moving speech. Thank you very much, Nafisa. It's an honor to have you in our city, and we'll love to have you back. Our other guest speaker, Omar Fatah, he's a state senator from the state of Minnesota. His flight got delayed, so he'll be here really late tonight. I just want to recognize him. Omar is the son of hardworking immigrant parents from Somalia. His father arrived in America in 1963 to study civil engineering on a full scholarship to Montana State University. His mother immigrated later and received her master's degree. His parents taught him the necessity of hard work. While completing his master's degree in public administration, Fatah spent his early career working with youth deemed at risk, especially students of color, to find opportunities in education. He worked for the city of Minneapolis as a community specialist, where he worked to improve the city's outreach to East African communities. He can't be here with us tonight, but I just wanted to recognize him. I'm gonna pass the mic to Mohammed. Thank you.
I hope everybody is sitting down and ready, and I hope that we are ready to go. Without further ado, I'm sorry, we are going to next call. I'm going to call these lovely people here, Claire Lewis, who is ACEDONE's operating officer, and Hassan Salieri, who is the director of small business at ACEDONE, and they will be presenting the Humanitarian Award and also presenting the Bridge Builder Award, Transformational Leadership Award, as well as the Social Justice Award. Please help me welcome these two folks who are a really huge part of ACEDONE, Hassan and Claire.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. Hassan, do you want to greet everybody tonight?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Claire. First of all, I'm really excited tonight seeing all of you guys over here. Thank you so much for coming in, honoring us tonight, and then making this tonight great. You guys are the ACEDONE. We are all ACEDONE. I hope that we're going to do much better in the future, and I would like to thank each one of you who is making and who is supporting this great organization. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Hassan. ACEDONE is 20 years old. It is shocking, but it is also a calling to continue this drive going forward. Throughout the 20 years, many have come and gone. Many have stood the test of time. Some are new faces, some are old. But the first set of people were the first people that saw the vision in ACEDONE. And he is a strapping young man. He doesn't say it often. But Mike Took, you were one of those people. You are the true humanitarian who saw us. And Nancy Took, thank you for always putting a smile on his face. We'd like to award you with our first Visionary Award.
Very nice. Thank you.
And just as Mike is carrying his eagle, there is an eagle for another person who is in absence today. But she did send an emissary by the name of Claire Shaw. We often joke that mine is with a C and hers is with a K, and it should be vice versa. But Claire Shaw is retired right now, but not tired, and she sends her regards to everybody in the community. But she did send Miss Bettia Carter to accept her Visionary Award, so we'll be inviting her. And one thing about being a humanitarian, that you often start on the journey by being, not really start, but you're close to humanitarian when you are transformational. And there are a couple of people that were truly transformational in our journey as ACEDONE. And I think that transformation started in 2018 when we met an individual who has the brightest smile in Massachusetts. You need to hook me up with your dentist, Mr. Lawrence Andrews. Thank you so much, Lawrence. You have been the person who saw our economic program and felt like we need to make sure that we're targeting and making sure we're working with Somali people and African people in Boston and Massachusetts as a whole. So thank you. This next award, I was asked by a very special person in the room. And she's going to make her way to the front because she knows this person's character extremely well. And one thing I would genuinely say about this person is that the title that this award has speaks to their character. I would like to invite Counselor Tanya Anderson Fernandez to come and give this award to a special person in this room.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How is everybody? Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah. Thank you. It's so nice to be here with you, especially with organizations such as ACEDONE. It's a pleasure to share my time here with you. It's been exciting times in the council. And before I make my announcement to my this very special person, I just want to invite you to the council chamber next week. I filed a couple of things, a hearing order to discuss how the Boston Public Schools is addressing the needs of its Muslim students. As far as, yes. Of course, we have many needs, and I think that a conversation, of course, is warranted at this point, as well as a resolution I will be asking the council to support me with to actually nominate in memory of Mahsa Amini. May Allah rest her soul and forgive her sins and accept her deeds, her good deeds. We want to just, in memory of Mahsa, to sort of explain about misogyny and the rights for women to choose to cover or not to cover, nominating hopefully her birthday, September 23rd, as Hijab Day in Boston. Hopefully this will be, thank you. Hopefully this will be a very educational opportunity for us to explain about our niqabs, our kimars, our hijabs. And sometimes just a bun in the back, like the way your city councilor wears it. But I share this space with you, and every single time I come in space with Muslims, subhanAllah, what a feeling of love. And I know that you're with me, and I carry you with me every step of the way. So I thank you for that. But now, it's not about me, unfortunately. It's not about me today. I have to say, for this brother, subhanAllah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guard him and protect him and purify his deeds, protect his family, and always continue to guide him, that he may continue to hold fast to the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This brother, this brother is very compassionate. This brother is humble, mashallah, and every opportunity that he's gotten, he will step up and support us. And without questioning, he will make time. And if he doesn't, he'll make more time. Without further ado, I'd like to present this award to my brother, my beloved brother, Yusufi Valley.
You're killing me, you know that? You're killing me.
And just to continue with our program, many of you have heard, whether it's through the community pipeline or, through our grapevine, informal grapevine, that we have become a very strong community of advocacy, and that is thanks to the hard work of lawyers for civil rights standing behind us. And for our award for social justice, we are indeed honored and privileged to know Mr. Ivan Espinoza Madrigal. Are you in the room? I did see. Oh, okay. Hi, Priya. Maybe somebody can accept his award on his behalf. Thank you. Keeping in line with awards, because let's move this along, I think. Would you like to take a break? Hey, let's not take a break. Let's go on, people. Okay. All right.
Kevin.
Okay, thank you. This gentleman doesn't wear sunscreen. It's 2022. We're wearing sunscreen, yes? This man does not wear sunscreen. And he looks like Tom Cruise when he gets a haircut. But he doesn't run, he just walks super fast. Tom Cruise is always running in his movies. He just walks very fast. But the amount of hard work that he does in coordinating and making sure that people are able to connect and connect in meaningful ways astounds me. I don't think he sleeps. But then again, he also doesn't wear sunscreen. And I love him for that, but also I make sure that I'm always carrying it in my bag just in case we're outside. And with that being said, I would like to invite Mr. Kevin Whalen of CSIO and Equity Now and Beyond. Oh, this is a nice one. This is another transformational leader. But this is a different kind of transformation. ACEDONE's programming has always had its roots in education. And nobody else but this person puts ACEDONE at the front of their mind every single time, and making sure that the futures are bright not only for children today, but children, whether they were children in 1998, 1996, heck, they're children who are going to be in 2026. He's still going to be here. Hopefully, he'll be here till 2040. We're counting on that. But I would like to invite Mr. Christopher Smith for a transformational award in education. This is before we go into the next award, there is a memory lane that we'd like to take you down on, because there's so many people in this room who moved through this memory and have carried it with them for several years. So if we can, there is a video that we're just going to play for you. And for today, we are presenting an award to literally it's presented to Youth in Charge, but the person who's coming to receive it joined Youth in Charge when they were in kindergarten. And Khalid, I don't know where you are in the room. Khalid Jama? There he is. Please see our growth, people. Clap for our growth. See, kindergarten. They say that when you want to see how far you've come, you look at your children. And because you're tremendous supporters of ACEDONE, look at your child. And the other children in the back as well. Would you like to say something? Okay.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Khalid Jamar, and I just want to thank you all for coming today. I want to talk a little about my perspective of ACEDONE. ACEDONE is a strong leadership and connective program for students in 1st through 8th grade. I want to thank ACEDONE for the great 9 school years and 8 summers I've started this program when I was in kindergarten because of my siblings. When joining ACEDONE, I did not know how good this program is going to be. Some ways ACEDONE has helped students like myself and others were getting help from tutors during the school year, to playing basketball at the gym and going outside to play kickball and foursquares. ACEDONE is not only a school year program, but it's also a summer program as well. For the summer, we were going to field trips with our friends and learning new things for the upcoming school year. I think my favorite memories of ACEDONE were the field trips and the random lip syncs that were on the bus. We did many things such as going to islands, laser tag, and going to Cannon Lake Park. The funniest memories were the water balloon games on the field days and the intense kickball games. An embarrassing and funny moment was when I ripped my pants while doing the hit the quan. ACEDONE showed me the true importance of community, friendship, and guidance to help me out every year. Being my final year of ACEDONE means a lot because of the great memories, friendships, and bonds I've created with students and staff. These memories are what I've cherished the most as well. Finally, I want to thank personally Abdul Latif for coming to ACEDONE every day, always having a smile when students were acting bad or when they were having a bad day. Thank you for helping me when I wasn't in a good mood, and always saying inspirational things all the time. Thank you for being there, and thank you, ACEDONE.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wow, that was amazing. Khalid, it's been a long time. I think it feels like it's been a long time, but it's only been a year, and this guy has changed so much. In keeping with our theme right now in terms of youth, our next speaker is a young man from Tukwila, Washington, and as you can see, because of the theme tonight, ACEDONE has not only impacted here, Boston, Massachusetts, New England, but also I know many, many times where Abdul has left to really mentor and guide other folks that are doing the same job. So I would like to next call our next guest speaker is Mr. Muhammad Abdi. He's one of the youngest city elected city council members. He is 24 years old. And as you can see, he's going to be really a force to reckon with in the next couple of years. Muhammad Abdi, please help me welcome Muhammad Abdi from Tukwila.
How's everybody doing today?
I need a little bit more energy than that. How you guys doing today? We all blessed, right? First of all, I just want to say thank you to Brother Saeed. He got to hear from my story and know that I was representing my city. So he reached out to me on Facebook Messenger and was like, Brother Muhammad, we would love to have you at this beautiful celebration that we're having. So I want to give a shout out to Brother Saeed for flying me out here and giving me an opportunity. And all my fellow people from all around the country and my folks from Seattle, Awale and Muhammad, please give them a round of applause, please. Yep. I'm really happy and honored to be here today. First, I want to give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for bringing us all here together today and for even giving me an opportunity to see my fellow beautiful Bostonians, right? There you go. Fun fact, actually, I've been a diehard Celtics fan for 15 years. So, yeah, fun fact. Since I was 10 years old back in 2007. So I'm really, really happy to be here. I feel like this is like a third home for me. So, if you're a Celtics fan, let me hear some noise. There you go. But yeah, I know my time is short, so I just want to say, I'm honored to be here today. Last year, I was a senior in college, and this opportunity was sat on my lap about running for office. And I've been giving back since I was 14 years old, both locally and federally. I'm the oldest of 8 kids, so I realized as I was growing up in my childhood how important leadership was, being a role model, setting up a good example for not only my loved ones, but for my community. So, I felt like it was destiny. And I'm named Muhammad, right after a very important figure in our religion, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And so, growing up, I always wanted to display leadership even without people watching me, you know what I mean? I wanted to just set an example. So when this opportunity came on my lap, my mother gave me her blessing. I prayed on it. And so last year, April, I threw my hat. I wanted to run. I finished college. I'm the first to graduate college in my family. So thank you. Appreciate it. And then after I graduated June of 2021 last year, I did 6 months of campaigning, a lot of fundraising, a lot of door knocking, a lot of prayers, and luckily I'm the youngest city council member in my city of Tacoma, Washington at the age of 24. Thank you. So I want to keep it short. I just want to say that if I could do it, I know our kids could do it, right? It takes a dream, it takes a village to raise, one. We got to each one teach one. And, I'm a firm believer that, whatever's meant for you will never pass you, right? So, yeah, so I just want to just say that, I'm really thankful for my parents, my beautiful parents, my mom, my dad for making me the man I am today. I want to thank, of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving me the opportunity and the blessing that exists to, really be the type of person I want to be. I'm inspiring a lot of young folks to run and be involved in civic engagement and do things like that. So I just want to say it's very important that we continue to invest into our young folks. Let's listen to them. Let's give them opportunities because these young folks are not just brilliant people, but they bring a lot of great advocacy and fresh voices in our communities, right? So please, continue to invest in them because if I could do it, they could do it, okay? So love you guys and thank you for having me.
So the spirit is younger, not young. Because I think for our generation, we're young, but they're younger. And it's truly an inspiration. And because we have to keep this train moving, I'm sure many of you want to kind of kick it and enjoy yourselves in the night. And there's still a couple more people that we want to honor tonight. It's 20 years. We're sorry. We could have done this at a shorter time, at another time, but it's 20 years and we only get to do this once. It's like a wedding. For these next set of individuals, I think I would like to invite Councillor Lujan to help us present these. Thank you, Councillor.
Of course.
So, Councillor, we have had some strategic partners over 20 years who have done the robust work of making sure that our community is seen, heard in the right places at the right time and makes the right impact. And we'd like to take this opportunity to honor them tonight. So the first award is going to the first organization that we like to call the sister organization, Center to Support Immigrant Organizing. Luz Zambrano, Kevin Whalen.
Oh, Kevin.
You gotta go the other. You're on the other side. So Hassan, no, don't worry. Hassan will give them to you. Our next award is being given to For Boston. They have always been present for our students in the after-school program. Is there a representative from For Boston tonight? I think we can. Let's give it up for them then. Yeah. I think this one is easy. He was here the first time. He knows how to get back here. After school and beyond. Yeah. And the next, oh, I am so sorry. All right, this is another education fulcrum. Boston Office of Extended Education. Any representatives tonight? Oh.
Is it Boston, anyone from Boston Public Schools, the Office of Extended Learning? You okay?
Yay!
Accept it on their behalf. Don't be shy.
And they still also know their way here. Priya, Lawyers for Civil Rights, any person can come up.
Yay, Lawyers Committee. Eliza, this is Eliza. Thank you, Eliza, for all of your work.
We also wanted to honor Simmons University, but we also understand that both individuals are in absence today, so let's just give it up for them because they do a lot. They've been with us for 20 years. Oh, this is very nice. I know the principal is here. The James W. Hennigan School. The entire team should just get up. You know you should get up. We wouldn't be able to do a lot of work with our teenagers without this organization. Boston Center for Youth and Families. Okay. Oh, okay.
I'll take it on their behalf.
Oh, he's here.
Oh, okay. Or not.
And this is someone new, but someone who is also dear to us. New but dear, because we've made a lot of pathways with them. Solutions at Work. Miss Natalie. Please give it up for Miss Natalie. She's a very instrumental person when it comes to Solutions at Work. Okay. I know a couple of people from this corporation might be here tonight, but I don't know because I saw your names, but I'm not sure whether you're here. Local Initiative Support Corporation. Karen, anyone from LISC tonight? Catherine, maybe from MACDC, can
Clap it
accept?
up for them anyways. Oh, they just left.
They just left?
Yeah, I think. It's for the City of Boston Office of Immigrant Advancement, Monique Nguyen.
She's right here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
We also want to recognize Tufts University. Unfortunately, they could not be here tonight. They relayed their apologies. So we will just honor them with a hand clap. Yay! And once again, Larry, this is for MGCC. And this time, please come with Sherry, because you need to take pictures. Sherry's his beautiful wife who makes him glow every day with that beautiful Massachusetts smile. Our next award will be going to a partner that saved a lot of businesses during the pandemic when all the economic doors had closed. And that organization is Ascendus, formerly known as ACEDONE. Is anybody a representative from here? Yeah, okay. We honor them with this plaque and our support. And you'll be happy to know that this is the last one for tonight. Can we get a hand clap for that? I know this person is in the room, so I'm just gonna say, Jamie, start walking. Jamie Goldfarb. ACEDONE has been at a point where we're trying as much as possible to tackle health equity within our community. And behavioral health is something that is ignored when it comes to Black and brown folk. And we have a perceived stigma of behavioral health and mental health. Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center was the only organization that felt that we needed to be seen. We needed to be in the room. Jamie knows me very well, but also doesn't know me because we know each other in Zoom boxes. I know her cat too. But we want to honor you tonight, so thank you very much. And with that portion, I am excited to announce that the teenagers and the youth, okay, they're not teenagers, they're youth, have a little presentation for you all. And you should hold on to your hats. Oh, I'm so sorry. Councilor Lujan, this has been amazing. I never get to stand near you all the time.
Feed off of each other's energy, it's a joy.
Okay, I think both Mohammed and Claire are doing amazing jobs for us just going through the program. So I want to honor somebody who is visiting us from a neighboring New England state. This is somebody who I believe is the first elected mayor, Somali elected mayor in the nation. This is somebody who's a trailblazer, as you can all imagine. She's been in the city before this, so this is not the first time she's coming to the town. So I want to ask Daga Dala, who is the mayor. Mayor, if you can come up to say a few words. Mayor.
Thank you. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Oh, the light. Claire, you did not lie. It's right in my face. I am so honored to be here tonight and seeing all of these beautiful Bostonians. I love Boston. You know, I'm from Maine, but I love Boston. And whenever I have a chance to come here, I do that. Not only to see my beautiful Somali community, but also you guys have Cheesecake Factory here. We do not have that in Maine. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Deka Dalak. I am from Somalia. I have been an advocate for community organizing, helping our Somali community members to register to vote, and also making sure that they understand that is their right to do that. Although we are poor people, mostly coming from the refugees camps, but that's one right that they have that I always, advocated for them behind the scenes and making sure that they do what they can to vote, and that's their right. That was almost 20 years doing that. So I realized advocacy is good behind the scenes, but when you are on the table making policies, you can make change. So many of my community members said, you need to run for office. But I, like any other woman, whether we are white, black, immigrant, we always hesitate to run for office. So I hesitated, although I have 2 master's degrees under my belt, almost 30 years of experience, multicultural, all of those things. But still, as a woman, we do not jump into that wagon and said, yes, I want to run for office. So what I did was I talked to a couple of my good friends, and I don't know if you guys know Emerge America. Hopefully you have one in here in Boston, Mass. Woohoo, yay! So we have Emerge Maine chapter, so they train Democratic women. My sister Nafisa said, this is a 501c3, we should not talk about politics, but we politicians, we don't have a choice. We should be talking about it. And those of you who did not vote yet, vote. November 8th, it's hot, it's cold in New England. Please make sure you vote. But anyway, thank you. So I did that training, which took me almost, roughly maybe 6 months. And even that time, I was like, I am not still ready to do this. So when I had the chance to do that, my city councilor in my district stepped down from his post after he was elected for three years. He served only 1, and everybody in my circle blew up my phone. That's what the young people these days say, right? My phone blew up, everything. And I was still hesitant about that. Kind of doubting myself. I cannot do this. But I talked to my kids and I said, what do you guys think? We have this opportunity in our space right now. Should I run? So my oldest son, now he's 29, he said, Mom, you're not only a black woman, which my sister Ruthie talked about, how difficult it is as a black woman to run for office. You're not only black, you are an immigrant. And you are Muslim. And also you're a woman. So all of those layers do not allow us to run for office in this country. Because those are all barriers. I said, okay. And then my 2 young ones, who I call my rebels, they said, if you do not do it, who's going to do it? Who's going to tell all of the youth that my sister Claire talked about, the ones who's going to be coming up here later, who is going to show them the way to do what you are doing or what you can do? So I said, okay, dude, it's a democratic house, majority rules, we're going to run. So we did. One thing that really helped me, and I think my brother here alluded it earlier, it takes a village to raise a child. Throughout my time in Maine, I built relationships. I built community. And that community is not only black, it's white, it's Asian, it's Latino. And when I said I'm going to be running for office, they all stepped up for me. And they said, we can help you. You're not alone. So that helped. So the point here is that we alone cannot do anything. We need our communities, especially those who we are coming from. And in my case, Somalis. And my Somali brothers and sisters here in Boston stands up for me all the time. So we run, long story short, I won my election in 2018, and when I am in that city council, in the chambers, I'm the only black person in this side of the room, as well as the other side of the room. Every single Tuesday night, I'm the only person of color. So I have a choice to show up so that others can say, if this old lady with accent, with big hijab can do this, I can do it. So I show up, as my sister Ruchi said, we show up, right? So then again, I am in that room every Tuesday night, and I'm looking around the room. There are a long line of mayors in my city in South Portland, all white men, few white women, 0 person of color. So the way it works in my city is that we have each year a mayor, a city councilor can say, I want to be the mayor for this year. I had a choice not to do it, but I said, if your picture is up there, imagine the change that can make it to a young person of color, especially young women. Even though they are white young women, there are so many young white women who does not want to run for office. And it's our job to make sure we tell them, yes, you can. So I put my name in the hat for a mayor, and all my city councilors really back me up on that. Not because I'm the first black woman, but the work that I did, some of the policies that I made with them, some of the policies that I spearheaded, and how I show up for them when they need me. So they all supported me, and I became the first Somali American mayor in this country. And that's because of all of you who really supported me and stand behind me. So now, I'm running for a state legislature. So, excuse me, I've been working like 80 hours all this week. And I drove from South Portland 2 hours fast, going fast. And we had a storm. Did you guys see the weather? We had a storm, but I drove anyway because I didn't want to be late. So I said I'm going to run for this office, legislature, but I was talking to my good friend Abir Ibrahim, who's from Sudan. I said, Abir, why don't you stop me when I'm doing crazy things? Coming up with crazy things that I want to run for another office. I'm already tired. And she said, this is a good crazy, because there is 0 Muslims in Maine state legislature. There is a 0 immigrant in state legislature. So hopefully, now we have a young 25-year-old who is really going to the legislature because her opponent dropped out, Mana Abdi, Somali American. Hopefully myself when I win. And then also we have a Pakistani American who is also running. So probably we're going to have Black caucus or people of color caucus in the state legislature, which never happened before. Well, like my sister said, you don't give a mic to politicians. We don't want to let go. We just want to keep on talking. But, okay, 1 minute. So in this November, I'm on the ballot. And hopefully when I win, I'm going to come back right here in Boston and celebrate with you because you guys are behind that. So I thank you. And please, 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 whatever you do, you can do it. You can run for office. And I want to talk a little bit about ACEDONE. When I met Abdelkader, I was like, why didn't I meet you 10 years ago? I want to pick your brains. He has so much vision, so much empathy and kindness in him. And that wouldn't happen for 20 years if it was not his visionary mindset. And he even want to make it bigger. He reached out to all of these amazing elected officials, Somali elected officials, and say, come together and see what we can do here. So I was talking to a couple of my brothers and sisters over here, and I said, we need to create something like this. Maybe we can create our own Somali elected officials in the country and meet every year in different states, right? So congratulations, ACEDONE, for 20 years and hopefully 40 more years. Congratulations.
Wow, truly, truly inspiring. Deco, and it's not if, it's when, because we know you have done it already and you will win, inshallah. Next, we will have a quick show.
What shall it profit a man to gain the world and lose the world like you? I don't know. Give me your more. Give me your more. I don't know. No. It don't go baby, do they break your heart? If it's my baby, and it don't go baby to punk you up. It don't go baby, and it don't go baby to the run about. It don't go baby, girl, it don't go baby to lose you, darling. On the low, it don't bother me, it don't boss me. I'm a casala, don't boss. I'm on it, don't touch me, behind the car me. I be like zombie, on the low, it don't touch me, it don't touch me. And I'm a casala, don't boss.
sareedada nimcada muuqatiyo saaca quruxdiisa sinjigii afkii lagu yaqiin dhaqanka Soomaali sawdkiyo mushxarada baxdiyo sacabka yeedhaya sareedada nimcada muuqatiyo saaca quruxdiisa sinjigii afkii lagu yaqiin dhaqanka Soomaali sawdkiyo mushxarada baxdiyo sacabka yeedhaya sawjada arooskiyo marwada raajka loo saaray qoys saaray ka dhalato haween lama sineekowdhe waa saafi sharafo hablaha waynu sida tahay sawjada arooskiyo marwada taajka loo saaray qoys saaray ka dhalato haween lama sineekowdhe waa saafi sharafo hablaha way u sida tahay samiyo wanaag waa lagu korshee yaanay saran seerin saldhigga binaysiya markaad geysa sabadeeda goofta sidii goofta sidii lagu yiqiiniyo ku dhaqo sababar waaqaysan samiyo wanaag waa lagu korshee yaanay saran seerin saldhigga binaysiya markaad geysa sabadeeda goofta sidii maxamadow goofta sidii lagu yiqiiniyo ku dhaqo
yarta raadiya maankay ruuxda u ruclaynayo ruuxda tabto waan raagsadee ii raadiya yarta raadiya yartu maan ku rabe raadin jiray radkeedii baa racdada saqdhexe ku rafadu mutee ila raadiya war yarta raadiya hoy 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 yarta raadiya yartu maan ku rabe raadin jiray radkeedii baa racdada saqdhexe ku rafadu mutee ila raadiya war yarta raadiya war yarta raadiya ma rumaysan karayo ralliga ayaa raka soonto rogihii cilmiga awdal bay rabtee ila raadiya raasiya qorraxay iyo roobkii helay armay ramaskaa tahay reer samaysatoy raaxada ladaa
هذه الأغنية مهداة إلى عاطف مصطفى خالد.
شايل التلفون ماسك ديركسون أنا ما بسيبه والود خاطف لون أنا ما بسيبه
حصريا على موسى
As you know, ACEDONE has been in existence since it's been highlighted all night, 20 years. This is the 20th anniversary, and we need to really close this out with a bang. We need to close it out in a way that is very memorable, that is going to take us into the next 100 years. Because I would even say, until we close all disparities, our vision for ACEDONE should be, ACEDONE will accomplish its mission when all of our societies are free of any gaps, disparities, or people feel less than anybody. That's when ACEDONE's mission is complete. So without further ado, I would like to first give those young people, help me please give them a round of applause. That was beautiful. It was amazing to see. They were so happy. So amazing, amazing. And as you guys have seen, this is why ACEDONE has, for the last 20 years, focused on the youth. We have been celebrating the entire time the 20th year of ACEDONE. But honestly, we have to rewind the clock and go back to the very first days, those very first drafts, those very first nights where Abdul sat somewhere and decided he was going to help the community. And as I mentioned earlier, a community that was going through a crisis, a community that was coming to a new land, new place, with different language, different religion, different outcomes in a society that was highly developed. And some might even call full of all boys network, where access to resources and access to influence was very, very hard to come by. And he had the vision and the wherewithal to sit down and say, you know what, I see this community. They are going through a lot, and right now, I'm going to help them. I will stand for them. I will sacrifice what I need to sacrifice. And I think Tedros, I don't know if he's here, really highlighted some of the sacrifices Abdul made for this community, for this idea, for this vision, for us to be here tonight to share this moment with him. And it's an amazing journey. I am very honored to have been a very small part of that journey. I think Deco earlier mentioned Abdul. He's a visionary. He's full of ideas. He has I'm not gonna say how many years I've known you. Every day that we have had a conversation, it's never been about the same thing. And if it was, it's never been about the same conversation. It's always been a new way to look at it, a new way to look at this existing issues. So please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Abdul, who is our fearless leader, who has impacted directly and indirectly everybody in this room, one way or the other. Please help me welcome Abdul, Chairman of ACEDONE.
Wow. Wow. I am actually honored and moved about what I have seen tonight. I have never, ever really thinking any time in the past I will be witnessing such a wonderful night like tonight what we have seen in this hall. I think my journey was very simple. I've never thought about that I will be part of this journey. It started in a very simple way. There's one thing that I always knew, that I always really love helping people who can't help themselves. Also, I was always standing in justice. Never really afraid to say no when I see injustice in any shape and form. Even when I was a young age. My aunt labeled me when I was 6 years old, this word like a justice man, because I was always interested, how can we get justice? So that's something is my DNA. But this journey, initially I thought that I was helping people who need help, but they helped me so much and really helped me to understand a lot of things that they have been struggling became part of my life. This is not an easy job. Being a Somali person, I have seen a lot of injustice in my home country. We have been seeing failed leadership time after time, which actually resulted mass exodus that a lot of Somali families, both internally and externally, left their home country, not knowing where they're heading, not knowing what's waiting for them, not expecting anyone that's welcoming them as they hoping that. So when the Somali families, refugees, start coming to Boston, we didn't have any institution that's already been available, ready to support those families. At the time, we were very young, either going to college or almost graduated, at the time. But we were very much kind of confused. How are we going to able to come together and build something that's bigger than us? There's a people before me who have tried to set up an organization in Boston, but it didn't work it out. And the reason is our ego always bigger than what we're trying to really address. So all those people never really able to come together and understand how we're going to able to build an organization to help Somalis. So ACEDONE was not something that started 20 years ago. I just want to take you back. ACEDONE actually started 28 years ago. There's another 8 years that we have been very much helping the Somali community, and that was the difficult time. We had a lot of crises, and we have been very much involved how we're going to able to address those crises. And I have been part of that team at the beginning, 1996, 97, up to 2000. That was like 5-6 years. Was very much burnout. Eventually, I was not able to take care of my family. I remember that I had a serious conversation one night. That was almost 2000. Working all day, very much. Didn't eat all day. By the time I came home night, I was looking something to eat. By the time I got the kitchen and trying to find something, there was nothing there. My wife was sitting in the living room, and I was very much looked everywhere, couldn't see any food that I can have. It really hit me, and I just asked a very simple question to my wife. I said, "What happened, honey? There's no food in the house." And she said, she was very angry at the time. She said, "Oh, you sound like you are a father or husband that taking care of his family." And that was really hit me first time. And she was very much crying, saying that since we start helping the community, we become very poor. You neglected your family. You don't bring money to the house. You're always running left and right helping other people. The people that you thought that they were poor are now much better than us. So that was the time that she made a decision, either stay with the family or just live with ACEDONE. So that's the time that I decided to leave Somali Development Center, which I founded. And I was working 7 days a week for almost close to 5 years. But at the time, before my departure, Somali Development Center, we actually did strategic planning based on that, actually was the second phase of a community development, which eventually became ACEDONE. So ACEDONE was continuation of that journey. That 20 years for ACEDONE was also, it's not an easy journey. We started from nothing, was very hard, and it's very difficult to build an organization from scratch. But there's one thing that we never lost sight. We have to build an institution bigger than an individual, bigger than a group of people. An institution can really able to see the interest for their community and willing to defend that interest. And we have developed that institution, which is ACEDONE today. And in terms of sustainability, that organization, we already created the pipeline of next generation of leadership. It became a hub that brings different type of people, not only within the Somali community, not only African community, but across different communities. So I hope the next 20 years for ACEDONE will be addressing economic equity. We'll be looking how we're going to create wealth for our community. And that's the challenge we're anticipating for that one. One of the goals that we're anticipating is we would like to really build a middle class for our community who will become an anchor that can really help our community to move forward. We're going to invest our children's future by educating them and build their educational foundation. We're also trying to really address how to build a power. within local and nationally. And that's why we invited our elected officials for national to really become part of that development, able to really help us and connect where our elected officials that we need them very badly, because the resource that we need and the policy that we need, definitely we cannot able to achieve it without engaging them. We would like to bring them back to their community base and able to develop a relationship with them. So this is the beginning of another shift of paradigm, trying to build a very strong, vibrant communities across the cities that all working together as one community. And this is our part of giving back to our large American families. And that's my final message to you guys. Thank you for everybody.
And just as he likes to give back to the point that he has no food in his house, this man has given us a lot. We, the staff at ACEDONE, witness it on a daily. Whether it's gas, food, tuition, he does it. And you also know that we like surprises, right? At the office. No, you know this. I don't like surprises. No, we know you don't, but we like it. Okay, you know that. What is it? Because you do so much.
Wow, thank you.
One second. Abdul, this is a fact for those of you who, I think all of my Somali people know. I don't call Abdul, nobody calls him Abdul. It's actually very disrespectful in some way. We all call him uncle. You know, that's how close he is. That is, you know, his position really in this community. So, Uncle Abdul, we want to thank you for not only, you know, impacting our lives in so many ways, but really doing the most important part, which is mentoring us, cultivating our brains since, you know, we were, Khalid, where's Khalid? Since K1 and beyond. And you still continue to do that. And you still continue to nurture our thinking, our process, the way we see the world. And we just wanted to take a moment and recognize you for your hard work. Honestly, nothing I can say in this mic can even demonstrate where this is coming from. So there's no words. We thank you.
I thought tonight we were celebrating ACEDONE, not me. And you really surprised me for these things that you guys are doing. My very humble, honestly, I always look the organization first and the community first. I've never looked myself first. I know you're recognizing me tonight, but I'm not retiring. I am still here for you guys. Unless you guys are signaling to me that it's time to retire, right? Yeah, no. But I'm still active. I still really want to continue what I'm doing. I love what I do. And I really want to say thank you, each one of you, who are very much happy to see for this tonight's big event. And each one of you did some way part of this, you know, celebration, is part of the success. I really sincerely want to appreciate. And thank you for each one of you who came tonight. And I wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you, folks. Just a quick logistics. I just want to say, just add this little bit to my Javier and Edo, who is, I'm telling you, well, we're celebrating ACEDONE and Abdul tonight. But you know, behind every great man, there's a great woman. And I want to say thank you. She is a pillar in this community. The ACEDONE vision would not be here without Miss Marian. That is a fact. So thank you for enduring. Absolutely. No, Uncle, you have to. We have to highlight. You know, this is an inclusive situation. Thank you, folks. It's been an honor to be here and to celebrate this with you and take this time. Thank you for contributing. Those of you who are ACEDONE contributors, thank you. Those of you who benefit from ACEDONE services, continue to reach out, continue to ask for more, continue to volunteer, continue to be part of ACEDONE, because like I said, we want to continue this journey, and I want to see all those people in the fashion show. ACEDONE's 40th anniversary. You should be on this mic. And I want to see some of you folks up here. And we want to see some of you folks highlighted and be contributing to getting some of those diplomas and also politicians and so forth. So thank you. It's been an honor. As you walk out, we have gifts for you folks downstairs at the front desk. Thank you, all of you, for being here tonight. Thank you for sharing this moment with us again. I cannot stress enough how thankful we are. Thank you for being here, and have a safe night. Drive home safe, and good night.